thing. All right, no, but yeah. So to answer your earlier question, they don't have like a native language or anything. So the void worms learn based on eating the genetic material of something else. So here's an example, a brief example on how the species operates for things they things they appoint as potential problems. I'll put it that way. If a void worm or beast or spider, whatever they are, they're all unique. Okay, that are over here. How they interact with each other is, hey, I found, I don't know, I'll use a random example, non-canon example here. I found humans that pose a great threat because they have blah as a weapon. Okay? The thing that ate the humans that knew about the weapon and knew where it was and all that shit is going to go into the den where some of the older ones live, and it's going to let itself get eaten. So the older ones now have this knowledge, and anything that is directly descended from them will also gain the knowledge. So if you have...
like the originals type thing.
Kinda-ish. There's only like 2 to 3 void creatures that actually have any kind of potential or adjacent offspring. So the oldest one that has been seen to record, the Great Maw of the Void, is called this because every time people see it, they keep seeing mouths, and they don't see an end to the mouths, which means they haven't seen the end of the head yet. They've seen it be galaxy-sized and eat a fucking galaxy, so the thing is huge. That is capable of producing smaller version clones. Smaller being, I eat a planet instead of a galaxy. Or I can go on a planet instead of eating it. That creature can share the knowledge with its offspring. They're technically clones. They, not offspring, but easy example with the offspring. And then they can have other beings eat that thing, and now everyone knows it.
So, in other words, so what happens if other species try to eat part of said void?
No species hunts the void worm because they don't
just hypothetically.
Hypothetically. Okay. So if another species ate the void worm, they would die and melt from the inside out.
Okay. Gotcha.
So here, I'll put it...
everybody, don't fucking take a chunk out of the void worm.
Yeah, so void worm... I call it void worm because the one in the lore that's the most famous is a fucking worm. It's easy. It's an easy descriptor for it. So the void worm or void beasts or whatever form they may take live in a dimension. This dimension consists of primarily 2 things. It is endless, black, void. You don't see shit. There's no lights. There's no nothing. The second thing, its gravity, is about 1,000 or more times the amount of Earth gravity. So if we were to enter it, we would basically become soup instantly. Yeah, no, we're soup.
Like even our particles. Blood would just be straight up ground at that point.
And that is why nothing can eat them, because they are huge. They withstand that amount of pressure.
No.
Naturally.
I think you misunderstood. Like, say they got like a small scale or...
Okay, so let's say a little miniature thing got eaten. Okay, sure. I can see the example.
Like just a small piece of them type thing.
The result would still be the same, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
So here's an example, right? And I don't know how well I'll do explaining this, and maybe someone in the comments who isn't drinking can explain this. But, all right, so if you take a pound on Earth, right? And
if I take a what?
A pound. A pound of something. Doesn't really matter what it is, but you take a pound.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying something else.
A pound of earth. Whether it's dirt, a pound of fish, pound of feathers, who really cares? It's a pound. Okay. It's a set weight. And you take that and measure it in higher gravity amounts. Okay. You are going to feel it as 100, 10, 1,000, whatever X based on the gravity that it is. Because the gravity is acting on it more, and your effort to lift it has to be more in that case. If you are not used to that, and you eat something that is like that, it just like flops out of your stomach. Like you get ripped into pieces because your body is not adjusted to that gravity and that density. So, prime example here, the void creatures, if... Let's say, I don't know, we'll talk sushi, right? Let's say you're cutting them up into sushi. One little strip of sushi would be like 16 tons or more of fat in that little tiny piece because of the environment that they're in. They're so condensed. If you were to eat them, you would eat like a year's worth of food in one go. You would just fucking die. You're not going to sustain that. So it's not a matter of, oh, they're so toxic. It's a matter of they are I almost said biometrically. They are different biology.
Genetically.
Yeah, genetically different to a point where their environment has shaped how they exist. And when they leave that, they have more freedom or less freedom than they did in the environment. So when they leave their dimension, right, they fight or they bite into the, air quotes, wall of the dimension. They stick their body through and start eating our planets and shit. They have way more freedom to move around and do crap. But
well, here's
the dimension tries to close on them.
Say that there is a creature that is able of withstanding, like it somehow managed to get like. Okay, well, what I'm saying is out of the norm type thing.
Okay.
So you know how
hypothetical. All right.
Like you can peel your skin and get like hangnails and all that.
Yeah. Okay. Painful example, but okay. All right. We'll do it.
So say somebody gets a hold of something like that from these void entities, something about the same length and weight.
Okay.
And they devoured that. Would they still perish?
Okay. The answer is yes, in this very, very short, specific answer. The reality is, let's say you interact with something. Okay, it doesn't really matter what it is. If you get too much information on that something, you experience information overload. Your body has no idea what to do with any of the things it's got from that information. Okay? Your body literally shuts down at the knowledge and thought of what you just ate. Assuming you function kind of similar. If you don't function similar, the sheer density and weight of the thing that you just ate will literally fall out of your gut through whatever body parts you have remaining into the planet's surface, proceed to go through the planet's surface, and pop out the other side, thus destroying your planet.
I see.
It's a very dense material. It's not something where it's like, oh, calamari, I'm going to eat the squid. Yeah, no, you're eating like a 2 bajillion ton squid. Your stomach not going to live that. There's like no compatibility here.
Aside from those void beasts, are there anything else that are capable of injuring or actually taking like a decent sized chunk out of it?
Like what, civilization?
Aside from the civilization and aside from other void entities or void beasts,
You can call them kind of whatever. Void beasts. Void beasts is like a generic blanket term, but I will tell you, in the game, they would be referenced as multiple different kind of things. Just void anything is bad news.
Right.
Yes, there are a couple things that would cause similar or worse damage. Primary example would be anything in the Crystal Vault. That thing, like, you open that door, you are opening the cosmic equivalent to an infinite black hole full of hell, basically.
Really?
Yeah, the Crystal Vault is where the collective people of the universe and that dimension send shit that they have no idea how to deal with into there. That includes everything from gods, demons, sorcerers, things that are beyond their comprehension, items of great power that could ruin or make universes. All of that crap is just shoved in there. They're like, we can't deal with this, so we're just going to throw it in this dimension, shut the door behind us, and pretend like it doesn't exist. Right. If that opens and does not shut, yeah, everything is done.
You gotta have that as like an ending or something.
Oh, but believe me, there's a total of 6 endings in the primary game franchise, and that's one of them is opening the vault and just leaving it open. So there are several things. To you?
Is there something I can pitch to you? Yeah, like, is there something I can pitch to you?
I mean, you can go ahead and try, and I will let you know if it exists or is adjacent enough to be interesting.
An idea to pitch to you.
Again, you can go ahead and try, and I will see how it fits.
How many endings in this game do you think are comedic?
There's a total of 2.
Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you think how hilarious they are?
Okay, are you defining hilarity as
like I'm defining it as in, will this make you laugh or will this just go?
That's a bad way to define it. What my question was going to be is, hey, is this hilarious in the fact that it's just funny, or is this hilarious in the fact that I cannot believe that this is how it ends? Sarcasm, hilarity. Like, what spectrum are you batting on?
We'll go with that first one.
So just, haha, it's funny, WTF.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then there would be 1.
All right. Mind if I pitch something to you?
Go for it. I'm open to ideas.
At the beginning of the game, after whatever species you pick, you will have an option to collect something from whatever the starter person is.
Okay.
If you carry that with you throughout the entire game, and you're trying to go for like the Crystal Vault ending, just before you get to this door, your character is forced to pull out said item. You don't know why. You don't know what it is, so you eat it. And then everything just goes black. And you start again.
So this sounds similar to the Biomechanicus update shenanigans that I was actually doing already.
Biomechanicus updates.
Yes. So basically, it's kind of a spoiler a little bit, but at this point I don't really give a fuck.
Okay.
Basically, you carry an item every single time through your journey, and when you die doing this update, and the game will enforce the particulars of the update to you in the sense of like, hey, if you do this, you are choosing this path. Like, it tries to make it a little bit more clear, so you're not like RNG stumbling into it super hard. So if you like, no, I want this to be my end, it'll kind of
It'll
direct
help
you
you
to
get to that ending. Gotcha.
And basically you're carrying a Scythian bioegg, which is basically just an egg that is programmed to replace part of you. And every time you carry this, you become more and more and more and more and more and more mechanical in nature, and you become a new thing, and your mission changes. And once that mission changes, you are sent to a specific place to do a specific thing. And if you fail on that thing, you just fade to black and cease to exist. So,
ooh, I fucking like that.
It's a 5 respawn iteration thing, and it's respawn particularly in the sense that you can start the very first, I'll air quote, quest in the game and die, and you will start back at the beginning with a new thing. So it doesn't require you to do a full X amount of hours playthrough. You can just speedrun death
an objective
to get there. Yes. So, and the game will never specifically say, hey, you have to die 5 times or whatever the amount is that I decide. Right now it's at 5, but it might be 6, it might be 4, it might be 3.
I'd say make it as many times as there are endings.
Okay, so 8. So you have to die 8 times. The game won't tell you this, and you achieving that will give you the final, air quote, true ending for your character's archetype based on what you've decided. And there's side archetypes adjacent to that. So, you can decide to go through all 8 steps and then not do the ending. And then you become a heretic, basically, in the eyes of the organization that oversees what would have been your final ending. So nothing in the game is dead solid except for one ending where no matter what you do, you end up there. You can always pick to not do the ending. You could be a grade bleeding on everybody hero the entire game, and at the ending decide, you know what, fuck this, I've had enough. Just eat the villagers and leave, and you'll have a different ending.
Yeah, I love that. You really thought this through. I love that.
That has been the hardest thing to fucking program on the planet outside of adaptive difficulty. That's been the other thing that's been a pain in the ass to program.
Dude, not gonna lie, just the more we talk about it, the more I can't wait to see what this game is gonna be like.
You want to hear what adaptive difficulty does?
Oh, I know what it does.
But do you?
To an extent, yeah.
Okay, so for people who don't know, right? Because I don't know who's all watching this, if anyone. Adaptive difficulty basically says, hey, I'm going to take what you do in any combat scenario, and I'm going to adjust my difficulty to what you're doing. So, primary example. If you're a Dark Souls player, you want to dodge roll everything, or whatever the game equivalency is.
Right.
If you do this, the game will start giving you more of those dodge mechanics that you need, and alternate mechanics to keep you on your toes. So it'll attempt to establish a balance. Really yeah. So it'll attempt to establish a balance. Here,
for reference as to why I understand this, do you know a game called Shadow of War?
Yeah, I played Shadow of War, and I've also played... Well, I played Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War. I played both.
Right. That's how I know what this adaptive difficulty is. Because right now, on one of my playthroughs, I've got a necromancing orc that is 777, and he unfortunately turned against me. And I cannot do jack shit against it.
Yeah, no, that sounds about correct. Yeah, so adaptive difficulty would work that way. And the primary goal is, hey, this player is, let's say playing Skyrim in this game, right? Skyrim, you don't really need an intensive amount of mechanics. You need M1 and S. If you can back up when you need to and hold M1, you'll probably be fine. I say this as someone with 10,000 hours in Skyrim. So you really don't need much else. If you play this way, the game will attempt to match you on generic difficulty, meaning, I killed a bandit here or a bandit there. They rely on these mechanics.
And bosses, it'll start giving more progress and items to help you along that track.
Yes. And bosses will exist above your current perceived benchmark. So you'll have to not necessarily learn new mechanics, but there will be guaranteed harder fights. So there's always a feel of progression and achievement when you move up.
Right.
So this has been probably the hardest thing to code because it doesn't have an AI base, and with an AI base it would be easier, but the AI base would be subject to some problems. There's a plethora of problems. So I've created basically like a similar to a data spreadsheet in which you match X amount of results to get a specific result, and that spreadsheet has wiggle room. So right now it's operated off of like a hard-coded database, but it will eventually have a different component that will allow it to adjust things. So like right now, if I dodge roll X amount of times while testing, I get Dark Souls level shit where it's like, I got 3 hits and I'm done. And if I stand there and do nothing and swing, I get Skyrim-esque difficulty of, like I'm talking middle ground Skyrim, not like Legendary where everything's ballooned.
All right.
So right now it's very either or, and I want to make it so it can change on the fly. So if I go to a dungeon or a ruin or a citadel or whatever I'm doing, that if I play the citadel in a very cautious, slow output manner, it's going to give me something in line with that. But if I enter the cityscape and I get hunted by assassins or something, and I'm just gonna fight them and wing it, the difficulty will match this in a way that makes sense. So that's what the idea is. You can play multiple different styles, and you'll experience a level of difficulty in which you feel achievement when you do it, but you also don't feel like the game just decided to shaft you if you don't. Like, you're not getting Skyrim 10x HP, 10x damaged. You're getting, hey, these guys brought an archer or a sniper or whatever, and we took position on high ground, and I couldn't get there in time. So I got shot in the head and I died. So my next step is to try to find a flank route. And I find a flank route, and I kill them, and the engagement is that much easier. So that's kind of the idea. Not, we just take a slider on their stats and bump it up. And so right now I've got it to a works maybe 7 out of 10 times where it'll do the initial, but it won't do any kind of follow-up. So like if I do the initial combat as, a Dark Souls, dodge through everything that I could dodge through, attack when I can, wait for, kind of vague big openings, that kind of thing, it'll tailor that way.
Right.
But if I switch it up halfway through, it has no idea what I'm doing yet. So I still have to work on that, and I need more people. That's part of the reason for the podcast, is like I need more people for everything.
Right. Because you need more sponsors, more people to actually contribute, things like that.
Yes. So, anyways, tangent of Ooga Booga over.
Question. Is there a parry mechanic?
Depends. Depends on what do you define as a parry. What do you define as a parry? Hello? Am I here? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, okay.
I can hear you
What
now.
do you define as a parry? Are you talking like a sword
I'm
parry? I
talking,
parry your attack to restrike you, or what are you talking?
yeah, I'm talking about like the For Honor style parry.
Okay, great. I play For Honor. I know exactly what you're talking about. There are multiple
Hmm.
different types for multiple different types of combat.
Okay. What one would you say is closest to that?
I mean, the obvious answer would be the melee parry. It's a melee parry. But there's
Mm-hmm.
also magic, there's gunplay related parries. They're all listed as parry, but they're all slightly different. So, for
Right.
example, the gunplay parry, this is like an internal working name. It's not actually, it would just be called parry. But if
Right.
you're holding a gun and some guy is trying to stab you with a knife, you can bash the knife out of the way to then shoot them. Whereas with a sword, you might
Mm-hmm.
deflect the blow and then cut them. So there's some slight variations to how the parry system would work.
Right.
The magic one is where it gets a little bit screwy, because it's like I deflect you and then I summon God to kill you. So it gets a
Mm.
little bit more obtuse. But each mechanic is a little bit more in tune with the weapons and stuff. So, like, for example, if you have a gun and you parry a guy with, let's say, a very high level weapon. If his weapon is made out of
Mm-hmm.
material that is stronger than your gun, you ain't parrying that shit. It's going through it. You're going to get cut. You're going to have death and or damage. So there would be levels of capability and it will kind of balance it out. So you're not dealing with a situation where you're immortal because you can just infinitely parry, basically.
Damn. I was playing For Honor earlier, and I was just in fucking God mode with my parries. So that's kind of the
Yeah,
reason why I went, oh hey, there's a parry mechanic. Because
yeah. There's
I just love parrying shit. I don't know why, but it's so satisfying.
so parrying as a generic, like, I don't know. I'll put it this way: you can level that shit as a mechanic. Would be kind of attached to your defense. So if you heavily tech into defense, you'll get eventually. So you'll get some early, but eventually you'll get like pairing related things. So one of the skills that I already have, um, and this would be canonical. So like any skill that I make in the game is like based off of the lore, basically. So if you know the lore, you kind of know the game limits. But the idea is, there is one thing called a judicial parry, and how it works is you can parry a spell based on your alignment. Now, the alignment's pretty loose, but basically, if you're playing a character who mostly does good and not, stabby stabby in the dark,
Mm-hmm.
if someone does an ability that's very considered evil to your character, you can parry that, and they just take the damage that they would have
Ooh, I
sent to
love that.
you. So there are
And then if you,
levels.
it works vice versa then.
Oh yeah, there are levels upon levels of like, you do A to me, I can deflect, parry, block, whatever it, and double that to you. And so there's always a level of like, the more you can understand about your opponent, the better your fight is going to be, and the less random crap you're going to have to deal with. So one of the base intros for the game, and this would be a human character start, is you're growing up in a village. Okay. And your goal is basically you're designing your character outcome. So you're growing up in a village, and depending on who you talk to and commit to doing things with, so you can talk to everybody and not it won't like influence anything particular until you decide to continue to interact with the character into a quest, basically. So you can talk to Joe the Tanner next door, or Vlad, your neighbor, or Michael the Smith guy. Like, you know, you can talk to everybody. And let's say you talk to Vlad the vampire. Yeah, I know. It's not original. I'm just exempling. In this case, you will start the game as an adult, okay, when you get to there, as a vampire. You can then do different quests with Vlad to determine what your skills are. Let's say you did a search and rescue mission. You might have skills tailored to that. Let's say you did a, hey, I'm going to run out and axe a whole village because I'm hungry. Okay, you'll have skills based on that. The idea is the initial village experience is what assigns you your skills just based on what you want to do. So if you're like, I want to be evil this playthrough, you can pick anybody, be an evil jackass, and you will get skills that tailor to what you picked. That's kind of the idea. So there's not like a set class mechanic.
Dude, when your game comes out, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna play the absolute shit out of it.
Well, that's the hope. That's why I want to do the lore podcast to get people interested enough in which I can get some help.
Yeah.
Because right now, if I work on this thing, I'm gonna be 6,000 before it comes out, and I would love to see it, you know, prior. So poor Bethesda, you know, I wrote them a letter and they never replied, so it's their loss, I guess, for right now. I hear a lady in the background. Oh, don't get yourself in trouble.
Yeah, that would be my mother.
Definitely don't get yourself in trouble.
Oh, no, that was just my mother getting home.
Yeah, no, dude, you do you.
The restroom, that's all.
No judgment. I got no problem with anybody doing anything. So just don't be in trouble on my account, all right? Because that's going to make me feel bad.
Yeah, no, I know.
What else you got?
Oh, that's right. You said at one point you could actually play as these void beasts?
Yeah, so in episode 1, you can play as a void beast spawn, for lack of a better word. So the Great Maw of the Void, that really old thing that can make duplicates of itself, it is capable of making duplicates
one of those
of something so small it's like humanoid sized, and it sends it to a planet, and the journey for that creature would be, hey, I've landed on this planet and I have my directive from the overlord, or whatever you want to call it. And so I eat things, and I gain my own sentience, and decide, fuck that, I'm going to go live a life. That's basically the premise for your character. So it's exceedingly open, but you'll have some Void Beast traits like eating to gain knowledge, certain levels of adaptability, certain levels of, you know, I adapted as X, so Y is just not gonna fucking do it for me. Like, if I get into, you know, Y situation, I'm dead. So there'll be some polarizing gameplay options. But the idea is that you won't, like, purely suffer because of that. It'll just be, it's harder, difficulty-wise. That's kind of the plan right now for it. The Void creature is a little bit more new, as in like within the last 6 years, so its storyline is not fully fleshed out 100%. It's fleshed out, but it's not done like the other creatures. They're fucking done. Like, I could give you the entire narrative right now, but you know that would spoil things, so I'm not at the moment. But yeah, so you can become them. They do things. They do things very well, but they also do whatever they don't select as their main skills pretty shit. So it just yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Alright. So it's gotten sentience, it's able to do what it wants.
Yep.
So how does that work? Like, would you be able to take a side with the other civilizations?
Oh yeah. You could literally decide, hey, void beasts are stupid and I don't like them, and I'm going to kill them. Like you can make that decision. So the void beast character has really primarily 3 functions of existence. Okay, and I'm defining these as a way to stay alive, basically. Mm-hmm. One is hide the fact that you're a void beast, because ain't nobody like that shit. Okay. No civilization, with the exception of very, like, stringent outcasts, don't interact with anybody, not on the civilization table for generically accepted society, cares about them. Mm-hmm. Okay. There's some religious fanatics that are like, I like them, whatever. They get hunted to the ends of whatever planet they're on and likely wiped out. But there's no one who publicly is like fan of them. You have the second option, which is acquiring the knowledge, or the second requirement, really, acquiring the knowledge and know-how to be fine with your environment, even if you're not fine with your environment, i.e., I can blend in even if I hate what's happening. So they need that. Mm-hmm. And then I need a form that fits. The void beast is what it eats, almost literally. So you see a void beast as a giant freaking worm. It's eaten some worms in its lifetime. You see one that's a giant freaking spider. It adapted and ate things similar to a spider. The idea behind the void beasts is that nothing is identical. The more they eat, the more they evolve and fulfill whatever they need based on what they've eaten. So, for example, if they've eaten something that could be arguably similar to a spider, if they need the legs, they're going to get the legs. If they need the mandibles, they'll get the mandibles. If they need the hairs, they get the hairs. The idea is they kind of have a direction in how they evolve, but what they eat depends on how it manifests. So no void beast in this dimension is identical to another one. The only exceptions are some of the oldest ones that can spore and basically create clones. So the void creature that you would be playing is a clone of the Great Maw. So it looks the identical on a smaller scale and then becomes something new. That's kind of the idea.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yep. What else you got? Hit me with it.
Well, hang on one sec. Alright, so as this void piece, is there any, like, one playstyle, are you able to, like, evolve further on and actually take on other legitimate void beasts?
Okay, so if I understand your question correctly, is there a way that you can clash against your own? Is there a specific style that makes that happen, or is it just a thing that you can do? Yeah?
That's exactly what I'm going for.
Yeah. Okay. So, as the creature, technically speaking, there's no specific style that you would need to do. You would grow based on whatever you eat. However, there are the fast ways of eating a planet and the slow ways of eating a planet. And that would be a thing that you would kind of have to figure out. A lot of it's just based on, am I going to be a dick or not? All right, if you're going to eat every village you come across, you're going to get bigger. And eventually you get big enough to eat the planet, then big enough to eat the system, and then blah, 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 blah. You get to the point where you could, in theory, fight them, yes. There is a fight that is planned. I haven't done anything with it yet, but there is a fight that is planned. So the idea currently is, yes, you would be able to fight a bigger thing. Whether it's for humanity, for Scythians, for whoever, or I just want to eat you and learn your knowledge and then eat everything else in the air. But that's the current plan.
Okay.
Your objective past that.
And because you're not... Okay, and because you're just like a very, very watered down version of these void beasts, you are more prone or more likely to get injured from just basic civilians or civilization, right?
So I'll describe it this way. This is a really easy way to describe it, even though it's basically inaccurate on many different levels. Let's say you're a tree in a garden, right? Okay, you're a tree in a garden that has gotten there somehow. The person who owns the garden has no idea how. You just appeared. If other plants grow in a way that block out your air, you'll die. As this void beast, you're not immune to other people's shit. If Joe Schmo on the street in your early days wants to throw hands and it knocks you out, you're going to feel that shit. As you grow and develop, you will feel that less and less and less to the point where things just don't affect you anymore of that scale. And then you graduate to the new scale. So there is a degree of time where, depending on, you know, what you're doing with your character, you'll be vulnerable to things within, let's say, a category. Let's say human is a category, warship is a category, planetary, whatever is a category, right? Let's just assume those three are a thing. Then in each category, each time frame, you'll have a period in which you can literally die to that stuff and you'll be basically game over. And then you'll have a period where I'm immune to your shit. Just walk all over them. So there will be ups and downs. Eventually, when you get to a certain size, nothing really gets to deal with you. Short of like a supermassive black hole. Even a black hole, some of the void beasts can just be like, nope, I'm going to go this way instead. Because they're not in the dimension where the black hole is. And so the gravity difference is too big, where they're anchored to one dimension and not the one where the black hole is. So the black hole does not have enough force to pull them out of that dimension. It just simply doesn't have the mass. So they could just shirk back into wherever they were. If that makes sense. That didn't go over your head, right? That made sense?
No, it made sense.
Okay. Ugh. Sorry, I'm a ginormous nerd at heart, so I tend to...
No, it's alright, man. Let's see. What was it? Void beasts are able to change their form at any given point after they've eaten something, or is that my misunderstanding?
You're correct and incorrect. So I'll put it this way. Imagine a caterpillar has emerged out of its shell and it eats a tree. Let's just assume this is a fact that they can do. They eat a tree. The caterpillar can now mimic bark. It will not become a tree, but it can look like it's part of the tree.
Okay.
Assume so this is kind of similar.
Of what it...
Yes. So the oldest ones can straight up change their form because they've eaten enough of a thing, let's say a planet-wide. They ate a whole planet and it's civilization X. Okay? Random example. they could become a denizen of Civilization X because they eat the whole damn planet. However, Voidworm B on a separate galaxy or system or whatever ate like 3 people. He's not going to be able to become those 3 people, but he'll be able to look similar to those 3 people, where people will still say, hey, you're weird as fuck, but you kind of look similar to these guys. So we're going to assume you're these guys. Right. So unless they've eaten enough genetic material to be able to essentially print themselves in that image, they're going to kind of struggle to blend in.
Okay, so say they've done so of multiple different creatures. They've eaten enough of them.
Yeah.
Will they be able to change into print themselves as said creatures at will?
Yes.
So, at any given point, you're looking at, a giant spider, and then suddenly, in the blink of an eye, that giant spider is now the worm.
Yeah. Primary example... Yeah. So, void worms have really 3 main biological activities, I guess. They have shedding.
Right.
In which they shed parts of themselves, sentient or not, upon shedding, that may become sentient and follow their biological imperative. You have reproduction, which is exceedingly rare and will pretty much never happen. Because A and B have to meet, and A and B rarely are compatible. And then you have mitosis, or essentially splitting of themselves into copies of themselves endlessly. So the Maw and 4 other creatures that the universe has taken note of and named can do that, mitosis. There's been 1 case of reproduction, and that thing got bombed to the point of nothing will exist even if nothing is there. It got basically atomized on every single level.
Repeat that last little paragraph you just.
Yeah. So the 1 species that reproduced got hammered so hard they could be considered atomized on subatomic level. They don't exist anymore. They got vaporized, they got nuked, they got whatever wording you want to say as they ceased to exist. So they're not around. It's still a thing that void beasts can do, but it's super uncommon because A and B have to match. And then the final one is shedding. Shedding is basically, hey, I'm a bigger void creature. I'm going to, let's say shed my skin kind of like a snake. But that skin, well, that thing is alive. And it's going to go do its life. So as it sheds, it's going to have multiple copies of itself kind of existing and doing things. Most of the time, they just die out in space because they don't have anything to eat. But sometimes they'll get on a planet and kind of wreak havoc. So the creature that you would be playing in this scenario would be one from a shedder, basically. Okay. That's the only biological expansions they might do, is one of those 3.
Okay. Interesting.
Go ahead.
All right. So say you happen to come across another variant of something that has shed, and you devour that. Yes. What would happen?
You would, depending on knowledge imparted to the thing that's shed, you would gain that knowledge, basically. You would gain the knowledge. So depending on what percentage and whatnot is shed, you would get that. So if something is trying to invade your reality and it's given its shedded parts enough knowledge to operate in a way that's going to matter, you will gain all of that, including who's shedding it, what they're doing, why they're doing it, all that crap. You'll get it. So if a void beast eats a planet, it knows everything that everyone on that planet knows.
Mm-hmm.
So they get exponentially more and more terrifying. That's all they do. They eat. If you think of your secret base or you try not to, it doesn't matter. They're going to know.
Right. See. So is there like we've gone over the devouring parts of this,
Yes.
I guess. Oh, hang on.
Take your time. I'm chilling. It might be handy if I had chat up. Although I don't think anyone's actually here at the moment. We'll see. I'm not sure. Brain. No, it looks like someone's here. Alright, sure. We'll live chat that shit. And then pop out. And then kill the chat. There we go. Alright, sweet. I can see chat now. Yippee. Yippee bug 2.0. Did you have to go do a thing? I'm gonna take that as a yes. So if you guys actually want to see,
I'll be back momentarily.
No problem. If you guys want to see this game come out, I'm making this series with the intention to really highlight the lore and hopefully get some entity with the money to pick it up, basically. So, I'm working on it. The problem is, it's just me. I need way more years than I have to actually make this a reality. And so I'm trying to kind of throw the lore out there and do a game, a TV show, a series, or whatever. Basically, that's the idea here. So hopefully you guys can help. That would be great. If you want to be on the show, you can reach out and let me know. I'm not super particular as long as you're not, here to spout a separate agenda and not just have questions about the game. So, or the universe, either or. I gotta run to the bathroom.
Okay, I am semi back. So let's talk about something a little along the lines, but still on the void beast nature. You said they have 3 ways of reproducing, right? Hello. Hello. There. Broken, you there? Hmm. Well, that is very unfortunate.
Okay, are you back? Or am I talking to myself?
I've been waiting on your motherfucking ass.
I went to the bathroom. Oh no! Alright, so I got
had my headphones on. Where the fuck did you go, man?
I went to the
told you I
bathroom,
had my
man.
headphones on.
I've had beers, man. I gotta go pee at some point. Alright, so I got a question for you.
You're fine. Alright.
I ain't no bottomless pit. Fuck off. Alright, so so do you want to talk technology or do you want to talk history? Because I've got those two prepared at the moment. And you can cherry pick whatever.
We'll
That's
hit
fine.
both of those in a second. There's actually another question I had for you on the Void.
Go for it. Great.
You said that there were 3 ways of them to reproduce, but one of them being almost nigh plausible. Like it's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
In your game, is there a way that will actually happen canonically? Like somewhere along the line.
Okay, so anything I'm telling you is considered canon, in which case the event has been or will be experienced. Where the game falls within that timeline is semi-subjective right now, because I have enough lore to do like 10 to 12 probably AAA games. So technically speaking, yeah, at some point it's probably going to be done. Giving you a nailed down ballpark game 1 or game 7, who fucking knows? But basically, yes, there is enough grounding and lore and whatnot where a species A could do species B and get a mix of the two. Do I have a plan routed out for those two? Not quite yet. At least for the initial thing, because the initial thing wants to go into important characters and things you should know before starting kind of like a universal tour and whatnot. The idea being break the lore into smaller chunks, because I mean if I rotate over, I have, I'm doing math, hold on. Well over 150 plus books in a stack.
Right.
And 7 stacks of things in which they're handwritten and whatnot. So like I got a lot of fucking lore, and the game's probably only going to encompass half a stack or less potentially of lore. But I want to have, yeah, that's planned to be a thing that you have to deal with, whether you are the thing or you're a race that wants the thing to not exist anymore. The idea is you'll have that option,
not as a civilization.
No. What I mean by this is it'll happen, but the way you experience it is dependent on you. You could experience it as the Void Beast itself, or you could experience it as the collective good guys that want to extinguish it from this universe. That's what I mean.
Okay.
Not, it depends on who you play. I mean, anything in lore that is canon will happen or has happened. Your experience and delivery of said thing depends on your experience and delivery of said thing. Are you the good guys in this situation? Are you the bad guys? Are you the people on side A or side B? You know, like there's a lot of things that I leave ambiguous for a reason, because a lot of war and other things are relatively ambiguous because both sides think that they're in the right. So there's a lot of like some smaller stuff that are like that where it's, you know, your right is dictated by you. That's the plan. That's the idea. That's the core guiding concept of your alignment, air quote, stage of the game. Is what do you and your character think is correct? And then you living that out. All right, king of awkward pauses. Let's move on to the next question. No, okay. All right. I gotta interject, even though I was like, let's go on. I gotta interject. You gotta enter some fucking kind of game show where people ask you questions and you just sit there and think about it, because that will be the funniest shit on the planet. Because you have a good thing about you, which is you think about your responses. I've noticed quite a bit with things, and for some people who want to, like, say a thing and go, hi, it throws us off. It'd be really funny. You should find some game show and just torture people with that. Okay. Anyways, you were saying.
Let me think about it.
Wait, about what I said or what you wanted to ask? Don't do this to me. I don't want to play this guessing game. Meanwhile, my neighbors think I'm insane. Okay.
Oh, you are insane. I mean, what?
Well, I mean, look. I've been scoping and creating and adjusting and whatnot this lore since I was like
no.
10.
Let's be honest, man. Let's be honest with you.
Since I was 10.
You're just schizophrenic. We're all voices inside your head.
Yeah, no, that's not gonna fly because you're way too reasonable. So,
it's worth a shot.
Yeah. No, I've been working on this since I was 10. It's been a consistent dream, consistent vision. It's been updated to be more realistic and in line with what I actually feel. But I mean, it's been 20 plus years worth of work. So people would call me crazy because I don't have a product out there. And sure, if that's your definition, go for it. But it's like my acceptance of quality is not low enough where I would be fine with something that I could individually put out there. It would not do it justice. And I'm fine to say that I'm incapable enough to do that. That's the point of the podcast. Right. More interest equal more better. Equal more money, hopefully. Otherwise, it's just a lower podcast, which I'm still equally as fine of, assuming people like it. I just want people to like it. That's what I want. Ideally, I make a game. And you can play it. And go eat a galaxy, you absolute sicko. Anywho, you had a question? You had a next topic, whatever.
Oh, right.
By the way, audience, I do this seat of the pants. Meaning, if you have questions, you want to cherry pick what you want to talk about on the show, yeah, I let you do that. So, anyways, floor to you.
All means, if somebody out is watching this and actually has a question, I'm down.
Bitch.
I'm down to do
that. No, yeah. If you have a question in the comments that is solidified enough where it's like, yeah, okay, I'll address this. Yeah, I'll address it. Like, if you ask what color is someone's pants, I may or may not address that. But if you reference, like, a time period or something I talk about in game, yeah, I'll fucking address it. If it has addressing to be had. Yep. Uh-oh. That doesn't bode well.
What was your... sorry, I fucking zoned out.
Go for it.
No, I zoned out.
Most people would. I yap a lot. Go for it.
No, it's not that. It's that something interesting popped on my screen as I was looking for your YouTube, and it just... Ooh. Excuse me.
Oof.
Ignore that part. But something, yeah, it captivated me for a second there. So what were you saying?
All right, I'll pretend like I don't have questions on what the fuck that reaction was. No, all I was saying is, like, I'm open to various people wanting to have a conversation on the lore. The more people, the better.
Gotcha.
That's basically what I was saying. All right, so you had questions before you searched a certain hub online or whatever the hell you just did?
I was legitimately looking for your fucking channel, and I just saw.
Do you want a link? Do you want a link? Because I can provide you a second link.
Yeah,
I already provided you one link.
Give me the link at this point. That
okay,
way I will sidetrack with my ADHD.
I will give you a second link. No, dude, like I understand. I'm ADHD and autistic. That's why I can remember all this shit like a fucking lunatic. Anyways, I'm gonna pretend like that didn't just fucking happen. All right, so we're gonna go to here. That's fucking useless. Thank you, game. By game, I mean YouTube, you piece of shit. I just want to send my friend my fucking YouTube link. All right, here you go. You should be able to copy paste that. That's not you. Fuck a duck. All right, here you go. I'll tell him.
That's not you? Who is that?
I have like 230 people on the friends list, and somebody messaged me before you chatted, so I just replied to them with the link they already had. I'm a great friend. So here's the link.
You get rid of the broken gaming hut?
I killed that, but not intentionally, and I'll be happy to go over why on air or off air rather, because it involves people who are doing stupid shit and they happen to gain access to my YouTube channel. So I kind of don't want what they did associated with
That's okay.
Yeah. So needless to say, I got hacked for a period of time, and Google Drive with public access to my video game lore ends about people potentially fucking with that in a bad way. So I'll just put it that way. You can noodle around whatever you want to think about that, but yeah, so that doesn't exist anymore. So here I am. Yeah. I've also reported said parties to relevant peoples, so hopefully that gets fixed. But yeah, I can't get it back. YouTube has strict adherence, and I'm all for it because why would I not be? But yeah. That channel is gone. What? Who? Huh? What'd you do? Who?
So someone's in your chat.
Yeah, it's fucking you. Imagine not having a background image. Alright, so I'll explain this to you. I'll explain this once. I am S tier, would hire a 2-year-old over me at doing art with my mouse. That's all I got at the moment. And so if I did I have sketchbooks that have art related to lore and shit in it. If I did that, it would just be penciled out art.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's completely fine, though. You shouldn't be afraid to do stuff like that.
Oh, no, it's not fear. I just don't know what people are more interested in because I want to have the interest. And so, my level of skill, whether it's great or horrible, is not being weighed. And it's more of like, I kind of want to know what people are cool with. That's why my Discord channel, if you're you're part of it, but public people, if you want to be part of it, it should be in the description of everything, has text logs where I type and retype, and the handwritten logs from literal notebooks and journals.
Right.
So I'm doing a mix of content purely off the fact that I don't know what people want to consume, but I also know my handwriting is ass. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it's not, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But anywho, you got
nothing. There's nothing on your stuff for people to join.
There should be. Did it not save? All right. No. Okay. It didn't save, so I will edit that upon wrap up of this live stream, whatever the fuck that happens.
Okay.
That'll be fine. It's a public handled site area Discord thingamabob. The lower section is like you guys won't be able to comment on anything, but you'll be able to read everything. And it's direct from my notebooks. So I have handwritten notes, and then I have retyped, cherry-picked handwritten notes where I don't spoil shit.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, so you had other questions, though, before I went on this long-ass tangent about my shit.
I did?
Yeah, you did, but do you remember what they were?
No.
No, quickly think of something before the CIA recruits me for memory wiping, okay? I mean, I can yap long enough, you forget everything, including who you are. Who are you, by the way?
Oh, I'm just a voice inside your head.
Oh, don't tell me that. You sound oddly English for that shit. No,
I'm just a voice inside your head.
Oh, yeah. All right, so you talked about void creatures. Do you have any technological questions? Do you have any more void creature questions? What do you got? I'm open.
What we've already gone over the fact that there's something that civilizations can do to where they are able to avoid these void beasts.
Yeah.
What sort of technology or magics besides the Stillions, or I can't even pronounce that, but you know who I'm talking about.
Do I?
Right. The Scions or
Breach Watch. Are you referring to Breach Watch, who monitor and track their activity?
No.
Okay.
I can't remember. My brain is going kaput. But
all right, what are they supposed to do? And I will fill in the blanks.
No. They're like able to use some sort of magic in order to detect the anomalous.
Psionics?
Yes, psionic.
Okay.
Are there any other civilizations that have like a technology or some sort of magics that can help them avoid void beasts entirely and like defend their planet without actually having to harm them?
Okay, so avoiding, yes. Defending, no one's going to fit that bill. The only defensible void worm or beast is something that is small enough to only eat a planet, in which case they likely don't have enough energy to go from dimension A to dimension B.
Mm-hmm.
It's happened occasionally because something big came through. And they happened to be kind of near the big thing, so they came through too. But that's like once in 10,000 years blue moon kind of thing. It's not super common.
Repeat that. I need you to repeat that, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's once in like 10,000 years blue moon kind of common, where it's like if you get to deal with a smaller void thing, it's fairly uncommon. It becomes like a historical event. So most cultures have a way of attempting to detect void beast emergence. In some cases, it's signatures, vibrational frequencies, dimensional energies, all this stuff measured and saying, hey, there's a big spike here. It could be a void beast. It could be God having a cosmic fork. We don't really know, but we're going to pay attention to this area. those civilizations have a degree of variance to them.
Something just happened to your screen.
Something just happened to my screen. What do you mean? Huh? I'm not even sharing my screen. How do you know?
I see.
What do you mean? My brain ooga booga. What do you mean?
Oh, wait, what?
Huh?
I just said I see.
Okay, alright. We'll pretend like you didn't just say something alarming. So... most creatures...
Like, I understand.
Oh, fair enough. Most creatures, planets, organizations, systems, star systems, galaxies, whatever, depend on Breach Watch. If Breach Watch says you get a Void Beast in Quadrant A and not Quadrant B, you clear the fuck out of Quadrant A. So Breach Watch is responsible for about 99% of all pre-alert activities in which some other kind of organization, species, structure, government, whatever, is trying to avoid them. Breach Watch has the proprietary technology to detect their signals, signatures, DNA, whatever they detect at that point to say, hey, you need to clear this area. That's what they do. That's all they do.
Mm-hmm.
Did I answer your question, or did I miss the mark?
No, I answered it.
Okay. What else you got, if anything?
Now, this is another question about Void Beasts.
Go for it.
Is there a passive way that you can play?
You mean like not eating things?
Yeah, like not eating things and still be able to progress.
Can you not eat food and progress life?
No.
Okay, like, there's your answer.
Say you still eat like normal things that
no. The Void Beast is driven by biological imperative. You as a human being needs to eat food to stay alive, correct? Yes? Alright, great. So do they. They operate in a space in which distinguishing A race, B race, who gives a fuck, they don't really care. I eat food, I get energy, I use energy to get more food. That's a cycle. Okay. Not eating is not a thing that they would think of.
Well, you as a player
you wouldn't have that option. You either eat or you die.
Okay.
Because that's their biological imperative. You are playing their biology as a character. The idea that I would bend or break lore or purpose for the sake of like player enjoyment doesn't really exist. So if the player would not enjoy the gameplay loop, they wouldn't be able to play it. At least in my perception. So if you're not, into eating every single species out under the sun and silently and secretly taking people into a room to eat them, you probably won't stumble into the Void Beast category. The idea is every single category would have somewhat of a similar vein of activity or experience to become that thing. And if you didn't have this, established play style, if you would become something else. So if you're like, I want to be a thing that devours bad things, and I want to be a good guy, and I want to devour like evil spirits or whatever, you become something different. You won't become a Void Beast. So there's degrees of separation, and it's still a process. Words are great. Where it works 100% of the time. Like sometimes if you're, playing the most devout soul cultist. You become a void beast who eats all the soul cultists. There's still bugs and bullshit with it. But for the most part, the idea is if you have a play style that suits you and what you want to do, the idea is it would navigate you to several options that fall within the vein instead of several hundred options. You might get 5 or 6 that are more upfront to you. They're not required to be picked. You could still pick anything else besides them. But the idea is you would get introduced to them more frequently than other shit. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense. It's hard to explain without showing the model. And the model does not run on this laptop. It would light it on fire.
Oh, yeah.
Does that make sense? Do I need to explain more?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
No, it makes sense.
Okay.
How long have we been going for?
Let me check the stream. So we've been going for 1 hour and 20 minutes. I know nobody ever agrees that it's been that long. And I personally don't care. You could go for 8 hours, and I would sit here and talk with you. That's fine.
Yeah, I'm not going to do 8 hours, but what I will do is, so what I'm thinking is, like, whenever I have a day off or something, I'll sit here for an hour and maybe 30 minutes with you, and we'll talk about this.
Look, here's my deal on my podcast, right? This is my fundamental deal. If you want to be on the podcast, you are determining the time, length, and what questions to ask. Okay. Because I am aware of everything. I know everything in pertains to this podcast. Mm-hmm. My goal is to raise awareness and information so people want to learn more about it. Right. And so as long as you have questions, I will be willing and able to provide answers. So do
here's an idea.
Whatever you want to do. And I'm cool with it.
Mm-hmm. Have you thought about trying to do, throwing this out here on TikTok? Because that's a very active and engaging platform.
I've thought about it. And I've thought about it. Now, I haven't reached a conclusive yet. The primary apprehension is I know a lot of people who already do YouTube who have an interest in talking about something somewhere down the line. Like, for you, for example, we don't have really a topic that we are like, okay, today we're talking about blah. Like, I work around the people who want to be on here. That is my goal. Mm-hmm. If you are like, I want to talk about alien tech, and if we get done with that, I don't really give a shit, that's fine. I don't know how to make that organic for TikTok or interesting for TikTok. I also don't have a fucking TikTok. So there would be
goober.
Yeah, there'd be multiple steps involved. And right now, YouTube End is fine for what I want to do, But no, it's a entirely considered thing. I just haven't done much consideration seriously with it. It's like I'm aware of the platform. It might be a thing I might want to do, but realistically speaking, it's not a thing that I care yay or nay about, So,
okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how else to describe it outside of that, but that's kind of my take on it, and if people digest it better over there, then sure. I'll try to do some kind of tidbit over there, but I also don't the lore is big enough where it's like I can't condense that into 30-second segments or something. Like, that's not gonna work. I've been working on the lore for 20 plus years. Like, it's so entangled with each other that it's not gonna. There's no 10-second segment that I can do. So doing some kind of, you guys are like, I want to know about this, I want to know about this, I want to know about that, whatever. That's easier for me to do than trying to edit some kind of long thing down into however many seconds it takes for a TikTok. That's my long ass short answer for it.
Mm-hmm.
You have anything else you want to know about the lore? Because like last time we talked, you talked about tech, and I was curious. Mm-hmm. What do you got? There's no planned length for episodes. You can do as much as you want as long as you got the time. I don't really care. I'm fine talking about this forever. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah.
Okay.
And like in the entire series, are there any kind of necrotic or like necromancy technologies where you?
Oh, there's
that sort of thing.
There's plenty, but what do you define as necromancy? Because my definition might be slightly different from yours.
How much do you know about 40K?
I've seen no, I know what you're referencing to that, so that should give you a small amount of answer. I've seen enough to vaguely assume I know something, but if you ask me about anything in depth, I got no fucking idea. My necromancy is mostly akin to a widespread use of anything from I summon an army of undead to I help your dead pass on. So frame your question in that mindset, if that helps.
Necron. That is what I sort of see necromancy.
Okay. Necrons, in that vein of we were a people and then we got disintegrated by something else and now we're this. They kind of exist in the Draugrs, but they're not like within the same vein. They opted into that. Necromancy in this universe is really kind of divided into two halves. You have the standard half, which is 98% of everything, and that is the half in which it helps your loved ones or whatever move on. Their goal is to take demons, which demons is the categorical response to anything spiritual that exists that has physical body and physical interaction with the world that's not dead. So, like, in this sense, if you're a Christian, God would be a demon. Okay, like that's everything is just blanketed on that term. There's a whole nother lore thing for that, but we're not going to get into that. Any kind of demon that exists has alternate effects on reality. For example, people freeze to death around those things. You will literally freeze to death if your great uncle visits you. You just die within like 30 seconds. Like the necromancers, i.e. clerics, their job is to allow them to move on and stay moved on. They don't let Casper the unfriendly freeze your ass off, die ghost exist in your village. They try to allow them to move on. The second property of necromancers, the 2% that's left out of the 98% of we're not an ass, attempts to take over reality with the summoned undead by basically saying, you were something in life, I'm just going to strip all that out and be you in death. We get to control you, you get no say. Welcome to your 9 to 5 forever, in which you're just a puppet for me. So anything that falls in that category has, at least in current game time, has been eradicated, but they still exist. They're like that religion that keeps cropping up that you don't want, or the neighbor that keeps looking at your lawn and judging you when you're like, I built a fence that's 10 feet tall. Why are you still looking over here? They're like that much of a nuisance, but they're also that little of a problem. So necromancy primarily is a mix between I summon the undead and clerics. But there's a lot more to it.
Right.
But that's like a general assumption, general description of them. There's been several like necromancers that have been evil that have like shaped society, villages, towns, kingdoms around them. And then there's like your average everyday priest who's just like, yeah, I helped your lady move on, and she's no longer making her house negative 600 degrees. And you should thank her and pray, basically. Like, they're the most down to earth, normal kind of people ever. But there's polarizing sides. And there's tenets of necromancy, which I will be releasing in my Discord at some point. But I'm not finished typing all of them because they're very fucking long. Alright, I've shut up now. Okay. It's your turn.
No, I think that's where we're going to end it off.
What? You want to end it off?
I could start going on other shit and get you banned TOS, you know.
Nothing that I could talk about would get me banned on TOS unless you're talking about certain species, and then maybe. But no. Like, dude, no. Don't. If you like need to go, that's cool. You'd be like, I need to go. I got shit I got to do. Blah 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 blah. Goodbye. That's fine. If you're trying to do this out of courtesy of my time, bitch, I got all the time in the world. If you want to chat, you can chat.
What I'm trying to do here is save myself and not overdo it to where I'm not going to remember any of this because of information overload.
That's what the whole point of the live stream is. You can go back and watch it.
Right. My brain didn't think of that.
Yeah, you don't have that problem. But no, like, I know that you've been selective in watching stuff, and I'm cool with that. You just ask whatever you want to know about, and I'll fill in the blanks. That's entirely fine. I don't have some outrageous expectation that everyone has to know everything about everything. I try my best to kind of explain things in a vacuum.
All right. Well, here's a singular, or the last ending question, I suppose. Sure, in this game, like, as you're fighting things, you know, whatever the combat system is, are there going to be like finishers or executions towards enemies?
It really kind of depends. So the core gameplay loop, I'll give you like a very blanket, semi-inaccurate, but general blanket statement. Let's say you're playing some martial artist guy, right? And your way of killing things is beating them until they don't move anymore. If you had the ability to do some kind of finisher, it would be mostly to things that you have understood. A lot of this game is based on your character's acquired knowledge or the players. So if you've connected the dots or your character has connected the dots, and there would be a very solid way of determining which is which, then your character might have finishers. For example, I don't know, I'll throw a random example completely out of my ass here. Let's say you're fighting some Sphinx god or something, and he's scared of water. You could use a water finisher to kill his ass immediately. But you'd have to know that he's scared of water and that it's not good for him.
Yeah, you cut out.
Yeah, so the idea is your prep work your ability to understand the fight will determine if you get any kind of finisher. So, like, if, for example, as I said earlier, if your Sphinx god is scared of water, right? You could kill him with water right out of the gate. But you need to know that that's a thing. So any finishers are based on your character's knowledge and investment into the thing. But also in some cases, environmentally, I know that this is the thing. For example, let's say you're in a town and everyone's talking about how witches like don't float or something, right? Let's go all the way to Monty Python. Witches can't float or do float or whatever it is. You would have that knowledge and be able to utilize it, and it could become a finisher or some kind of like final move. But it's dependent on your investment into the fight. So a lot of the boss fights will have something, but a lot of like the second to second fights are more of like, oh shit, there's a fight. I'm gonna kill the guy before he kills me.
Gotcha. All right. Well, this was actually pretty fun. Before I go and we go our separate ways or someone or do whatever.
Yep.
Do I need to redo that little intro bit that I did? Or do
no.
You actually have it?
You can do whatever the hell you want on here. This is just going to get shoved in as episode something. Probably
I think this is
2.3.
Episode
2.3 probably. Because I haven't edited the other peoples who have done episode 2 because I'm still waiting on one holdout who refuses to give me comment. And I'm starting to go bonkers because of it. So you might be 2.2, you might be 2.3. But the plan is to keep relatively similar questions together. So you could be episode 2, and episode 3 might be factions, which you've already done, or it could be you might be episode 4 because 2 and 3 enough people had enough questions about shit that I covered in 2. So it's primarily based on what people talk about and their interest in things. Because again, my primary goal is to work around you guys. I know everything. I don't want to just whinge at you guys. If you guys have questions and rabbit holes you want to plunge down, I'm all for it. That's my stance. So right now it's looking like episode 3, but it could be episode 2. It could be episode 6 million.
Okay.
Probably won't be that, but it's depending on how many people want to talk about the subject and whatnot. Even if it's just you, it'll still get released as an episode. It's not like, oh, I need 10 people to talk about the thing to episode. No, fuck that. So basically right now I'm getting 2 people left for episode 2 and then episode 3. So you'll probably be the intro to episode 3 or something adjacent to it.
That works. All right. I'm going to go
Congratulations, you're internet famous.
Violence.
You said what about
to your stream?
You said what about no violence? What did you do? Huh?
What? What?
Panic? Panic? Blood
for the blood gods? Blood for the blood gods? I mean, what?
Okay, Warhammer guy. All right. I know how you is. It's, I get it.
I'm a World Eaters fan, okay?
Yeah, but like, if you eat the planet, there ain't nothing left.
Damn it. You're right. That's why I'll just be eating everything else.
I love that you've been shenanigansing in chat, by the way. It says that 3 different people are you, by the way. I don't know if you understand this, really? But if I go to OBS, it says 3 people have chatted. No, bitch, it's just fucking you. Don't give me that shit. 3 people. What do you got, DID? Do you even know what that is? I take this as you have no idea what it is. Quit trolling me, you little shit. All right. Look, I'll let you get on with your evening, and you got more shit this week, tomorrow, 4 months, whatever.
I'll let
Let me
you know
know.
when my next day off is, and I'll hit you up.
All right, sweet. That sounds like a plan. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed, and we'll yap at you later.
Well, better have enjoyed. I mean, it's up to you guys.